This ranch-style estate was once owned by a Hollywood legend.
Welcome to Liz Taylor's world-famous Beverly Hills hideaway.
Behind the gilded gates of Elizabeth Taylor's Bel Air mansion lay a world where Hollywood royalty played hide-and-seek with everyday life. Imagine a home where diamonds sparkled as casually as morning dew, lavender walls matched her famous violet gaze, and a parrot named Alvin squawked opinions on decor. This wasn't just a house, it was an enigma wrapped in sequins. Once owned by Frank Sinatra's ex-wife, 700 Nimes Road became Taylor's sanctuary, part fortress, part treehouse, where paparazzi were foiled by tactical shrubbery and closets overflowed with enough Chanel to clothe a small nation. Here, Oscars rubbed elbows with finger-painted masterpieces, and Van Gogh paintings hung beside TV remotes. What secrets lurk beneath its chandeliers? Why did a woman with 8 marriages call this her only true love? Grab your magnifying glass. We're diving into a home where glamour and laundry rooms coexisted, and the real drama wasn't in the script. It was in the shoe closet. Elizabeth Taylor's Bel Air mansion, a house of hidden stars. Once upon a time in Bel Air, before Elizabeth Taylor draped it in lavender and diamonds, her mansion had a different Hollywood story to tell. It wasn't always the glamorous retreat of a screen legend. It started as a modest Hawaiian California bungalow. The original lady of the house? None other than Nancy Sinatra Sr., Frank's first wife. That's right. Before it was Taylor's kingdom, it was Sinatra territory. One can only imagine old Blue Eyes himself crooning in the hallways. But Hollywood homes, much like its marriages, rarely stay the same. A developer came in, waved a magic hammer, and turned the one-story home into a grand estate. By the time Taylor got her hands on it in 1982, for a cool $2 million, its mid-century past was nearly erased. Nearly. The secret? Tina Sinatra, Nancy's daughter, later spilled the architectural tea. The house still held traces of its 60s soul beneath Taylor's signature lavender and blue makeover. Perhaps the walls whispered ballads of the Rat Pack while Liz's diamonds sparkled under the chandeliers. And so the mansion lived on, its foundation built on old Hollywood's echoes while its decor danced to the rhythm of Taylor's wild, legendary heart. If walls could talk, this Bel Air beauty would have one heck of a tell-all memoir. A home bathed in lavender and stubbornness. In 1984, when Taylor first unleashed her interior design dreams, she demanded white carpets, white furniture, white everything, despite sharing the space with a small zoo of dogs, cats, and a parrot named Alvin. Designer Waldo Fernandez tried to warn her, but who was going to tell Elizabeth Taylor no? Certainly not a man with mere mortal concerns like stains. Predictably, white didn't stay white for long. By 2010, Taylor traded the impractical for the deeply personal, replacing the fading monochrome with a wave of lavender upholstery. The inspiration? Her own legendary violet eyes. Critics deemed the color scheme unfashionable, but Taylor was never one to chase trends. She was the trend. A trophy room fit for Hollywood royalty, but a home for humans. Downstairs, her trophy room shimmered with Oscars, celebrity snapshots, and even a Franz Hals portrait because what's a Hollywood home without a touch of old masters? But upstairs? A different story. Gone were the gilded accolades. In their place, children's drawings, family photos, and a bronze calf sculpture crafted by her daughter, Liza Todd Tivy, a twin to one in Gstaad, Switzerland. And while the world may have expected Taylor's home to be a museum of her own legend, she had different priorities. She wanted people to spill a drink and not freak out, insiders whispered. A philosophy that put her in stark contrast to Hollywood's velvet rope mentality. Her home wasn't a shrine, it was a sanctuary. The guest rooms disappeared, but family stayed. At first, the mansion had 4 guest rooms, a respectable number for hosting Hollywood's elite. But as Taylor's shoe collection grew, thousands of designer pairs, including identical rows of Chanel pumps, one guest room simply had to go. Priorities, darling. And when her family expanded beyond what even Bel Air's square footage could handle, the solution wasn't to build another wing, but to embrace the chaos. Granddaughter Naomi Wilding once found herself sleeping on a living room sofa. It was a family house, our house, she said. Because in the end, Taylor's mansion wasn't just a monument to a star, It was a home where life, love, and legend all lived under one lavender roof. The garden's secret magic. In a city of palm trees and droughts, Elizabeth Taylor dreamed of England. But not just any England, the England of Shakespearean sonnets and royal gardens. And so, landscape designer Nicholas Walker was given a nearly impossible task: conjure an English herbaceous border in the sun-scorched land of Bel Air. Hydrangeas, foxgloves, and roses lined the pathways, their roots whispering defiance against California's dry soil. And the delphiniums? Taylor demanded them in truncated moments. What did that mean? No one truly knew, but when Elizabeth Taylor asks for something, you nod and make it happen. The garden's real secret? 16-foot wooden planters overflowing with pansies, refreshed with each season like a never-ending costume change. And as if that weren't whimsical enough, Cirque du Soleil performers once tumbled and twirled beneath the bougainvillea. Because, of course, Taylor's garden wasn't just for flowers. It was a stage for life's grandest performances. Then came Easter, an annual affair of adorable chaos, as the grandchildren called it. The garden transformed into a storybook scene. Petting zoos, egg hunts, antique furniture nestled under bamboo thickets. Somewhere between the laughter and the scent of fresh lavender, Taylor watched with a knowing smile. She had built more than a garden. She had built a world where reality and magic blurred, where love grew as wildly as the roses. And in that hidden oasis of Bel Air, the spirit of Elizabeth Taylor still lingers, forever in bloom. Personal life, behind closed doors. Far away from flashing cameras and red carpets was Elizabeth, the matriarch, the hostess, the woman who loved deeply and ate well. Thanksgiving at Taylor's home wasn't just a meal, it was an event. She welcomed family with open arms, ensuring plates were full and glasses never empty. Though Hollywood worshipped her as a goddess, in her kitchen, she was just Nana, except with better jewelry. The dining table held stories as rich as the stuffing, with laughter spilling over like an overpoured glass of wine. And then, there was her perfume. Not just a fragrance, but a bottled piece of her soul. Inspired by the rare flowers in her garden and the opulence of her life, Taylor created scents that became legendary. White Diamonds wasn't just a name, it was a statement, a signature, a lingering whisper of glamour left on silk scarves and stolen kisses. The kitchen staff knew her not as an untouchable star, but as a woman who cared. She'd check in on them, crack a joke, maybe even sneak a taste before dinner was served. Because behind closed doors, Elizabeth Taylor wasn't just a Hollywood legend. She was home, artistic and eccentric touches. Elizabeth Taylor's home was a museum of contradictions, where fine art and fabulous excess coexisted in perfect, chaotic harmony. A Van Gogh hung on one wall, a Warhol on another, and somewhere in between, a TV remote sat nestled among million-dollar jewels, because why wouldn't you keep your Cartier next to your cable control? Her art collection wasn't just decor, it was an extension of her soul, bold, dramatic, and utterly priceless. Van Gogh's swirling madness mirrored the passion in her own life, while Warhol's pop art portrait of her proved that even icons knew an icon when they saw one. Guests would sip champagne, admiring the masterpieces, only to look down and find a pile of diamond bracelets casually tossed onto a coffee table like pocket change. And the remotes? Scattered across rooms like forgotten artifacts, proving that even a two-time Oscar winner needed to channel surf like the rest of us. Some say she never actually turned the TV on, but perhaps it was just another masterpiece in the making, a modern still life. Van Gogh, Warhol, and the sacred remote of Bel Air. Because in Taylor's world, luxury and life were inseparable, each as glittering and unpredictable as the other. Legacy and controversy, the mansion's fate. When Elizabeth Taylor's Bel Air mansion hit the market in 2021, it wasn't just a sale, it was a Hollywood plot twist. The buyer? A developer with a wrecking ball on speed dial. For $11 million, they didn't just purchase a house, they bought a time capsule of sequins, lavender walls, and enough Chanel pumps to stomp out bad vibes forever. Fans gasped, historians wept, and somewhere, Alvin the parrot rolled over in his gilded cage. This wasn't just a mansion, it was a mood, a disco ball of contradictions. Yet its fate now? Demolition. The plan? to replace it with a sleek, modern masterpiece, something with fewer shoe closets and more Wi-Fi routers. Cue the outrage. Taylor's devotees launched online petitions with names like "Save the Shrine of Sequins" and "Don't Bulldoze the Drama." One fan tweeted, "You can't delete history unless you're a billionaire with a cement mixer." But here's the most interesting part. The house's real legacy isn't in its walls. It's in the stories, like how photographer Catherine Opie spent 6 months snapping pics of Taylor's chaos. Jewels tossed on tables, TV remotes lounging near Van Gogh's, and a kitchen where staff ate lobster while debating soap operas. Taylor, ever the diva, approved the project weeks before her death, leaving us with a visual diary that's part art exhibit, part chaos. Critics called the mansion tacky. Fans called it a monument to living out loud. But honestly, it was both. A place where delphiniums bloomed rebelliously in LA's drought, and where Thanksgiving dinners could have fed a zombie apocalypse. The developer's modern vision might erase the building, but it can't erase the legend. You can't airbrush a tornado. So is this a tragedy? Or just Tinseltown being Tinseltown? Maybe both. Taylor's home was never meant to be frozen in amber. It was as messy and fleeting as life itself. And hey, if the mansion does get bulldozed, at least Alvin's ghost can finally redecorate. As for the rest of us, we'll raise a champagne glass spilled on a white carpet, naturally, to a house that refuses to be boring. After all, in a town built on fairy tales, the happiest ending is often the messiest one. 700 Nimes Road wasn't just a mansion. It was Elizabeth Taylor in architectural form. A place where Oscars mingled with finger paintings and lavender walls whispered secrets to Van Goghs. It was glamour with a side of chaos, fame with a dash of family dinners. A home where you could spill champagne on a white carpet and laugh instead of cry. Taylor's sanctuary wasn't perfect, but neither was she, and that's what made it magic. Her home wasn't just a mansion. It was a mirror of her soul, authentic, unapologetic, and full of passion. And honestly, the world could use more of that. And that brings us to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed our narration of Elizabeth Taylor's Bel Air mansion, then give us a like and subscribe to our channel for more entertaining videos such as this. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.